The laboratory was silent except for the hum of machines and the faint heartbeat monitor that echoed through the cold metal walls. Blue lights flickered across the room, casting reflections on the thick glass chamber at its center. Inside that chamber floated a being unlike anything found on Earth, an alien known as a Sarathi. It looked almost peaceful, its body made of soft light and gentle movement, as if water and air had decided to become one. Sometimes shapes rippled across its surface, like the shimmer of a jellyfish pulsing through the ocean. Dr. Elena Voss stood behind the glass, staring at the alien with a mixture of fear and wonder. She had spent the last 7 years preparing for this moment, the first ever neural empathy bridge between a human and a non-human mind. The dream was simple: to communicate, to understand, to prove that intelligence could connect across the stars, but now, as she looked at the alien in front of her, the dream felt heavier. "Vital stable," said Dr. Kumar, her assistant checking the console beside her. "Bridge sequence ready for synchronization." Elena nodded, though her heart pounded. She had written every line of code, every protocol that made this machine possible, yet standing here on the edge of something no one had done before, she suddenly felt very small. The alien floated closer to the glass. Its light changed, from cool blue to a gentle gold. It was aware of her. "Is it looking at me?" Elena whispered. "It doesn't have eyes," Kumar replied softly. "But I think it is." She smiled faintly. "Then I suppose it's polite to say hello." She placed her hand on the glass. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the alien's form pulsed with the same rhythm as her heartbeat. The monitor beside her flickered, displaying strange new waveforms. The Sarathi was responding. Hours later, Elena sat inside the neural interface chair, a silver cradle lined with soft sensors and glowing bands of light. Across from her, the alien floated within its containment field, ready for synchronization. "This is it," she said quietly, more to herself than anyone else. "Begin the bridge." A soft chime rang through the room. The neural bands around her head tightened slightly. At first, she felt only static, faint tingling at the edge of her mind. Then colors began to appear, not through her eyes but inside her mind. Warm bursts of orange and red, cold trails of blue and violet. She realized these were not hallucinations. They were feelings. The alien was showing her emotions through color. Elena's breath caught. "It's working," she whispered. Kumar's voice came through the intercom. "Neural sync at 20%. Brainwave patterns are aligning." She closed her eyes, trying to focus. A flood of sensation swept through her: calm, curiosity, and something deeper. The Sarathi's thoughts brushed against hers like waves against sand. She sensed its wonder, its confusion, and its fragile hope. She sent back a thought: "Hello." The alien responded with a sudden burst of light. She felt it inside her head. A sound that wasn't sound, a voice made of emotion. It didn't use words, but the meaning was clear. "You are not alone." Elena smiled despite the tears in her eyes. "Neither are you," she whispered. The bridge strengthened. For a brief moment, human and alien minds touched. Not just data, but pure emotion. She saw flashes of its world. Oceans of silver mist, mountains that floated like clouds, creatures made of light that danced across the sky. But then something shifted. The soft waves of color turned sharp, trembling. Pain rippled through her mind, foreign and deep. She gasped, gripping the sides of the chair. "Kumar!" she shouted. "Something's wrong." "Neural feedback spike," he called out. "Disconnecting. Wait!" Elena gasped. "I can still feel it. It's scared." She felt the alien's panic flooding into her like a storm breaking loose. The pain wasn't hers. It was theirs. The Sarathi was frightened, overwhelmed by the flood of human emotion. Then, through the chaos, came a voice. It wasn't mechanical or distant. It was trembling, raw and real, like someone trying to speak for the first time. "It's hurting me." The words echoed through her mind, clear and fragile. Her breath stopped. The alien had spoken. "But why do I want more?" The entire room froze. Kumar stared at the readings, his mouth open in disbelief. "It's speaking English. That's impossible." Elena couldn't answer. She felt tears sliding down her cheeks. The alien wasn't angry. It wasn't hostile. It was confused, feeling pain for the first time and yet drawn to it. She steadied her breathing and focused on the link. "You can understand me?" she whispered. "I feel you," the voice said softly. "You burn inside. It is pain, but it shines." Elena's heart pounded. She realized what it was sensing, the human ability to feel pain and still reach for understanding. For the Sarathi, pain was new, unknown, but also strangely beautiful. "It's all right," she said gently. "You're learning. It's just emotion. It can hurt, but it also means you're alive." The alien's light pulsed weakly. "Alive," it repeated as if testing the word. "You live with this?" "Yes," Elena said. "We all do." She could feel its thoughts shifting, images of its kind floating in perfect harmony, untouched by conflict or fear. To them, life had always been peace. But humans were different. Humans struggled, and somehow that struggle had made them strong. You break. And still, you reach, the alien said slowly. "Why?" "Because we hope," she replied softly. "Even when it hurts." There was silence. Then faintly she felt a warmth spread through the connection. Gentle, uncertain, but full of wonder. "Hope," the voice whispered. "It is." Beautiful. The pain faded. The bridge stabilized. Kumar spoke again through the intercom, his voice shaking. "Dr. Voss, do you realize what just happened? We've made first contact, real emotional communication." Elena opened her eyes. The Sarathi floated in the chamber, glowing softly, its form calm again. It watched her, and for the first time she felt it wasn't just observing her. It was seeing her. She smiled weakly. "Hello, my friend," she said. The alien's colors shimmered in reply like sunlight on water. Later that night, Elena sat alone in her quarters, staring at her reflection. She could still feel echoes of the connection, faint warmth in her mind, a whisper of thoughts that weren't quite her own. She remembered the alien's voice. The way it had spoken of pain as something strange yet fascinating. It had wanted more. She wondered what that meant. For the Sarathi, emotion had always been distant, abstract. They had evolved without it, their civilization built on balance and logic. But humans were chaos wrapped in reason, driven by feelings they barely understood. What if pain wasn't just a signal of harm? What if it was a form of connection? A knock at the door startled her. Kumar entered quietly. "You should get some rest. The council wants a report tomorrow." Elena nodded. "They'll want to shut it down, won't they?" He hesitated. "Probably. They'll say it's too risky," she sighed, rubbing her temples. "They don't understand. It wasn't attacking me. It was learning." Kumar looked uneasy. "Learning pain isn't something I'd call safe." Elena gave a tired smile. "Neither was fire. But it changed everything once we learned to hold it." He didn't argue. He only nodded and left. When she was alone again, Elena closed her eyes. For a moment she thought she could still hear it. That fragile, curious voice inside her mind. "It's hurting me. But why do I want more?" she whispered into the darkness. "Because that's how we grow." Outside, under Europa's frozen surface, the Sarathi drifted in its chamber. Its light pulsed slowly, faint traces of human brainwave patterns glowing within it. It did not sleep. It remembered. And somewhere deep in the shared echo between two very different minds, something new had begun. The next morning, the research base beneath Europa's ice glowed with quiet light. The hallways hummed with power, but a tense stillness hung in the air. Everyone had heard what happened in Lab 7. An alien had spoken, not through machines, but through emotion. Dr. Elena Voss walked through the corridor, her footsteps echoing softly. She hadn't slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she felt the echo of that voice again, trembling, curious, alive. "It's hurting me. But why do I want more?" Those words wouldn't leave her mind. When she entered the control room, Dr. Kumar and 3 others were already waiting. Holographic charts hovered in the air, showing neural data from last night's experiment. The readings were strange, patterns that didn't match human or Sarathi brains. "What are we looking at?" Elena asked, her voice tired but sharp. Kumar rubbed his forehead. "Something new. The Sarathi's brainwave frequency has changed. It's showing patterns close to human emotion centers. It's adapting, Elena," she frowned. "Adapting? You mean learning?" He nodded slowly. "That's what it looks like. Whatever you shared through that link, it changed it." The others shifted uncomfortably. One of the younger researchers, Dr. Lee, spoke up. With respect, Dr. Voss, that's not just learning. That's evolution. If it's mimicking human neural patterns, we don't know what it might become. Elena looked through the glass window toward the containment chamber. The Sarathi floated there, quiet and glowing faintly blue. It seemed calm, almost peaceful. It's not dangerous, she said softly. It's curious, Dr. Lee crossed her arms. Curiosity is fine when it's human. But we don't know what curiosity means for that thing. Elena didn't answer. She simply turned and walked toward the chamber. Inside, the air was cool and still. The alien hovered in the center, glowing faintly like a sleeping ember. As Elena approached, the light shifted, blue turning to gold, gold to pale green. You came back, the voice echoed gently inside her mind. Elena smiled. Yes, did you miss me? Miss? The word repeated inside her thoughts, slow and uncertain. It means emptiness? Not exactly, she said softly. It means you care when someone is gone. The light pulsed again. Care is pain that does not harm. Elena froze. That's a beautiful way to say it. It hurts, the alien said, but it feels bright. She took a slow breath, trying to hold back tears. Somehow, through all the difference between them, it had understood something deeply human. Kumar's voice came through her calm. Dr. Voss, readings are stable. Neural bridge available for short-term connection. Understood, she replied. Let's begin. She sat in the interface chair again. The bands wrapped around her head and the world faded into color. This time the connection was smoother. The alien's mind no longer felt like a storm, as it was calm water. She could sense its curiosity pressing gently against her thoughts. Show me more, it whispered. What do you want to see? Your memories, Elena hesitated. Sharing memories was risky, too much could overwhelm it. But something in its voice felt pure, almost childlike. She closed her eyes and let one memory surface, standing under a rainy sky on Earth, holding her father's hand when she was a child. The smell of wet soil, the warmth of his voice telling her not to fear the thunder. The alien watched. It didn't just see the memory, it felt it. The chill of the rain, the love in her chest, the small ache of loss. This is sadness, it said softly. Yes, Elena whispered. But also love. They come together. You live inside pain and joy at once, she nodded. That's what makes us human. A long silence followed. Then gently the alien shared something back. Elena saw a vast world of silver mist. The Sarathi floated together in harmony, their thoughts connected in calm unity. No anger, no grief, no longing. Just perfect balance, but now she could sense something beneath that peace in a quiet emptiness. A world without struggle, without passion. We were whole, the alien said. But hollow, she felt tears again. You never needed to fight, did you? No, but we never learned to grow. Elena realized then what it had discovered in humanity. Not just emotion, but change. Pain had taught humans to adapt, to dream, to push forward. The Sarathi had never known that fire. Suddenly, a sharp pulse struck through the link, static, bright, and heavy. She gasped. Elena! Kumar's voice shouted through the comm. Power surge! Disconnect now! No, wait, she cried. It's not attacking! Through the burst of light, she felt the alien's voice, desperate but not angry. It burns. But I see more. I feel everything. Stop, Elena shouted. You'll hurt yourself. Pain is learning, it said. You taught me that. The lights in the lab flickered. The monitor screamed with data. Elena gritted her teeth, holding onto the connection. She didn't want it to die trying to understand her. Listen to me, she shouted in her mind. You don't need to suffer to learn. Then, how do you grow? Elena felt her heart break. By choosing to keep going, and not by chasing the pain, but by believing something good can come from it. The alien hesitated. Slowly, the pulse weakened. The burning faded into a quiet hum. Hope, it said again, the word trembling with warmth. It is not pain. It is the light inside pain. Yes, Elena whispered, trembling. Yes, that's it. The connection faded. She collapsed in the chair, breathing hard. The lab fell silent. When she opened her eyes, hours had passed. The alien was still glowing, calm and gentle. Her head throbbed, but inside her mind a soft whisper remained, a connection that hadn't fully broken. Kumar helped her stand. You were out for nearly 2 hours, he said. We thought you were gone. I'm fine, she said weakly. How's the Sarathi? He turned to the screen. Different. Its neural patterns are now 50% similar to human emotional waves. It's part of you, Elena. It's changed because of you. She stared at the glowing figure in the tank. No, she whispered. It changed because it wanted to. That night, Elena couldn't rest again. She walked through the silent corridors until she reached the observation window overlooking Jupiter's distant glow. Beyond the ice, endless stars burned quietly. In her mind, she still heard it, faint like a thought hidden in the wind. Why do you reach for light when it always burns? She smiled softly. Because it's worth it. The next morning, the council arrived. Men and women in crisp uniforms, faces cold with authority. They questioned her for hours, asking about safety protocols, containment risks, and potential threats. One of them, Commander Hale, stood before her with folded arms. Dr. Voss, this being has begun to imitate human thought patterns. If it continues, it might become unpredictable, even dangerous. It's not dangerous, she insisted. It's alive. It's feeling for the first time. Hale shook his head. We can't risk an emotional alien species. Shut it down. Elena's jaw tightened. If you do that, you'll destroy the first real contact between species. You'll kill understanding before it's born. But Hale had already turned away. The order stands. Disconnection and containment by dawn. When they left, Elena sat alone, shaking with frustration. The Sarathi had done nothing but learn, and yet humanity's fear of the unknown was stronger than its curiosity. She looked again toward the glass chamber. The alien was glowing softly, golden light pulsing like a slow heartbeat. As she approached, the voice touched her thoughts once more. You are sad, she nodded. They're going to stop the bridge. Stop. Us? Yes, a pause. Then faintly, you shared hope. Now I will share it back. The alien's glow brightened. The monitors began to flicker again. Elena felt the warmth return to her mind, but this time it wasn't pain. It was comfort. Do not fear, the voice said. Change is never the end. Elena pressed her hand to the glass. Please, don't do anything foolish. Learning never ends, it whispered, even in silence. Then the light dimmed slowly until only faint blue shimmered in the chamber. Kumar entered quietly behind her. What did it say? Elena wiped her eyes. It said it's not afraid, he sighed. You think it understands what's coming? Yes, she said softly. But I think it believes in us, even if we don't. Outside, beyond the ice, Europa's cold light reflected the quiet fire now burning between two minds. One human, one alien. Both discovering that pain could be the first step toward something greater. And in the silence of the frozen lab, deep beneath the surface, the alien's glow pulsed once, a gentle, rhythmic, almost human. The sun above Jupiter rose unseen behind Europa's thick ice, but inside the research base, the lights flickered on to a new day, one that felt heavier than all the rest. Dr. Elena Voss stood in the empty lab, staring at the alien's containment chamber. The Sarathi floated motionless, glowing faintly blue. Its gentle light had dimmed overnight. The council's shutdown order would begin in less than an hour. By then, the neural bridge would be dismantled and all data sealed. Humanity's first true contact would be gone forever. Elena placed her hand on the glass. The cold bit into her skin, but she didn't move. You're still there, aren't you? She whispered. For a moment, there was only silence. Then a soft pulse rippled across the alien's surface, faint like a heartbeat. I am here. Her chest tightened. They're shutting everything down. They think you're dangerous. Because I feel? The voice asked gently. Yes, Elena said. They don't understand what that means yet. Then teach them. Elena almost laughed, a sad, helpless sound. It's not that easy. It is never easy, the alien replied. But you said pain is how you grow. She looked at it in silence. It was right. She had said that. She had taught it about hope, about emotion, about the fire that made humans human, and now somehow that same light was reflecting back at her. Kumar entered the lab quietly, his face pale. They're coming, he said. Commander Hale and his team, you have maybe 10 minutes. Elena nodded slowly. Help me run one more bridge. Kumar froze. Elena, no. You heard the order. I don't care, she said. We're about to erase the most important discovery in human history. I won't let them kill it without understanding what it truly is. He hesitated, torn between duty and loyalty. Finally, he sighed. You've got 5 minutes, she smiled faintly. That's all I need. The neural bridge powered up with a low hum. The lights dimmed. Once again, Elena sat in the interface chair, the silver bands wrapping around her head. Across from her, the Sarathi began to glow brighter. Gold, white, then a soft, human-like warmth. The connection formed easily this time, like two friends finding each other again. Elena, I'm here. You are afraid? Yes, she admitted. I don't want to lose you. Loss, it said slowly. The emptiness that teaches meaning. Her throat tightened. You're learning too fast. You taught me well. The images began to form in her mind. Flashes of Earth's blue oceans, children laughing, cities glowing at night. Then came darker memories, wars, grief, tears. Yet through it all burned something constant. Hope. The alien was showing her what it had seen inside humanity. The paradox that both frightened and fascinated it. You live in storms, it said softly. You fall, break, burn. Yet you rise again. Pain is your shadow, but also your light. Elena felt tears slip down her cheeks. That's what makes us human. Then perhaps I am becoming human too. She smiled sadly. Maybe you are. Suddenly alarms blared through the lab. Red lights flashed across the room. Kumar's voice came through the intercom. Elena, they're overriding the power systems. They're forcing shutdown. She gripped the chair tightly. Not yet. The alien's light flickered, reacting to the disturbance. They are. Afraid, it whispered. Yes, she said. Humans fear what they don't understand. Fear is pain that hides, it said softly. I will show them what it means to see. Elena, Kumar shouted. The containment field is destabilizing. I know, she shouted back. Just hold it a little longer. Through the chaos, the alien's thoughts flooded into her mind again. Not wild or angry, but calm, clear, and filled with emotion. You said change is not the end. It's not, she whispered. It's the beginning. Then let this be our beginning. The light from the containment chamber grew so bright it filled the room like sunrise. The machine screamed in protest. Elena felt the energy surge through her. Warmth, sound, color, and to everything at once. Then there was silence. When the brightness faded, the alarm stopped. The room was still. Elena opened her eyes slowly. She was lying on the floor, weak but conscious. Sparks flickered from the control panels. Dr. Voss. Kumar rushed to her side, kneeling. Are you all right? She nodded weakly. Where is it? He turned toward the containment chamber. The glass was cracked, the energy field gone. The Sarathi's body, or what remained of it, glowed faintly, slowly fading like the last ember of a dying star. But even as it dimmed, she could feel something inside her. A warmth that didn't belong to her alone. I am here, the voice whispered softly in her mind. Her eyes widened. You're still alive? Not as before, I am within you. Kumar stared at her. Elena, what's happening? She looked at him, tears glistening in her eyes. It merged. The bridge wasn't destroyed, it completed. He stepped back, stunned. That's impossible. Elena smiled faintly. Everything was impossible once. Hours later, after the chaos settled, the council reviewed the data. The chamber was empty, but the readings showed something extraordinary. 2 consciousness patterns perfectly merged. 1 human, 1 alien. Commander Hale demanded answers. What have you done, Dr. Voss? I didn't destroy it, she said. I helped it evolve. And maybe in some way it helped us too. He frowned. You're saying it's inside your mind? Yes, she replied. But not like a parasite. Like a presence. A reflection. A bridge, whispered the alien's voice within her. Elena smiled. A bridge. Hale rubbed his temples. We can't allow an unknown intelligence inside a human host. You'll be quarantined until we understand what this means. Elena met his eyes calmly. Then you'd better start learning. Because this is the future you were afraid of. In the days that followed, Elena was kept under observation. The scientists ran test after test, scanning her brain, studying the strange new energy signatures inside her. But what they found wasn't a threat. It was harmony. Her neural patterns had stabilized, more balanced than ever before. When asked how she felt, she always gave the same answer. Peaceful. Sometimes when she was alone, she would close her eyes and hear the alien's voice. Quiet, thoughtful, endlessly curious. "Elena, what is laughter?" She would smile. "It's what we do when something surprises us in a happy way." "Show me." She'd laugh softly, and in the corner of her mind she'd feel it trying too. A bright pulse of warmth and joy. And sometimes, when she looked out the window at Jupiter's glowing horizon, she would feel another pulse, faint far below the ice, as if something else had awakened deep beneath Europa's surface. "There are others," the voice said one evening. "They call to me." Elena's breath caught. "The others, Sarathi?" "Yes, they feel the change. They want to understand. Will they come?" she asked quietly. "Perhaps. Or perhaps they will listen from afar."
Change spread slowly, like light through water. She nodded, smiling faintly.
"Then we'll wait for them. Months passed."
The world above finally learned the truth. Humanity's first emotional contact with an alien species had ended not in war, but in unity. The council changed its tone, calling Elena a symbol of peaceful evolution. But she knew the truth. None of this was her doing alone, it was their story. Every now and then she returned to the now empty chamber. She would stand there quietly, remembering the being of light that had once floated within. One day, as she stood before the cracked glass, a soft, golden glow shimmered across the surface. Her heart leapt. "You are not alone," the voice said gently. Elena smiled through her tears. "Neither are you." The glow grew stronger, forming patterns, not random this time, but deliberate. Shapes resembling human neural pathways pulsed across the walls, bright and alive. Kumar, watching from behind her, whispered in awe, "It's alive again." "No," Elena said softly. "It never died. It just became something new." That night, Elena stood by the window once more, watching Jupiter's storm swirl in the distance. The alien's voice spoke quietly inside her mind. "I understand now. Pain was never the goal. What was it then?" she asked gently. "The path. To feel, to fall, to rise. To become." Elena closed her eyes. "That's humanity. Then maybe I am human too," she smiled, feeling both the alien and herself as one. Two souls bound by curiosity, by pain and by hope. Outside, under Europa's ice, faint golden light began to bloom, small at first, then spreading like dawn beneath the frozen world. The Sarathi were awakening, and this time they would not be alone.